Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
All right, the last case on the court's docket for this morning is Calvin Green and Alicia Green, file 18-17218-DM. Who do I have present for that case? Looks like we have Alicia Green and Calvin Green is here. This appears to be an objection to the referee's recommended order by Mr. Green. Mr. Green, you want to tell me what it is that you're objecting to and why?
I'm objecting to the specialists for reunification, and then also objecting to the agreed upon time after.
The referee's recommended order as to a specialist, I'm looking for where it says that there must be a specialist. It says that you as the plaintiff are to contact a counselor to have joint meetings / reunification with yourself and the child. The cost of the sessions will be paid for by you, but I don't see any specifics in the order about what type of counselor you're supposed to get. So what is it specifically that you believe that you're objecting to?
Yeah, I read that it said that I needed a counselor or a therapist that's specialized in reunification.
You need to have a counselor that's going to help you with reunification. So they need to have some ability to do that, but I don't know that they need to have any letters or after their name that says reunification counselor. So you just need to have somebody that's a therapist or a counselor or social worker that can assist you with the reunification process with the child. Does that help clarify things?
I mean, when you mention to a therapist or a counselor reunification, they say we don't do that.
I can't help that. So you're going to have to find somebody, but the order itself doesn't specify the level of schooling or the type of counselor that would be willing to do that. You are going to have to find somebody, but there's no specific counseling certificate or specific type of counselor, or it doesn't specify that you have to have a doctorate, a psychologist or a psychiatrist. It could be anybody that has sufficient learning to be able to assist you with reunification of a child. And so it may be difficult for you to find that person, but there's no limitation other than that they have the ability to help you with reunification. I don't know what else I would be able to assist you with in interpreting this order, or what you would specifically be objecting to. Are you objecting to having a counselor at all?
I guess that then. I would just like to sit down at a dinner and with my daughter and talk with her for a couple hours. That's it.
Well, that may be what you want, but that may not be what your daughter needs. And I think that's typically why the counselor is used, not necessarily for your purposes, but to ensure that the child is able to comprehend and process the reunification process. I don't think anybody's saying that you need to go to a counselor just for you. That may be true. You may want to. Right. So I'm not assuming that. What I'm assuming is that the counselor is for the benefit of the child. And that's, in general, that's how the process works. The court has done that forever. There's nothing new about that process. Anytime that the child has had an issue or issues that might need additional counseling, we typically will use a counselor in the process at some level of reunification. So what I'm telling you is the referee's recommendation is right down the middle of how we always or normally do things. Is there some reason why you don't think that your child needs any counseling at all about the reunification process?
I don't know, Honor.
Well, it's hard for me to base decisions on things that you don't know. I typically, when somebody comes in and they have an objection, they have a specific reason why they're objecting to it, and they can give me the basis upon which they are objecting. It sounds to me like you just don't want to do it.
No, I'm sorry. I can't find a reunification therapist or counselor here in Gaylord. I can't.
Well, then maybe you need to expand to where you look. Traverse City, Alpena, Mount Pleasant, Sault Ste. Marie.
So
I can't make people magically appear for you, but I do know that they're out there. I've had them used in the past.
So all I was asking was to lift it from a reunification just to a therapist session.
I don't see any problem with you having a therapist. I don't see any violation of the court's order. It says by contacting a counselor. That any counselor would do. All right. Your second request or second issue was you wanted additional parenting time, and as agreed, there has never been an agreement. And the order does say additional parenting time shall be as the parenting time agreed. That's a little bit not written very well, but what I take that to mean is that not that you've agreed to it in the past, but additional parenting time will be as your parties agree going forward in the future.
Correct.
All right. So what are you objecting to there?
That there's never been an agreement, so I'll never get time.
Just because there's never been in the past doesn't prevent you from reaching one in the future. Have you tried?
I don't get makeup time. I don't get any extra time. I don't get anything. Unless you guys order her to do it, and then she still doesn't follow the orders.
All right, Mr. Green, have you proposed specifically to her an additional or a request for additional parenting time? That's a yes or no question, sir. Have you proposed additional time for parenting?
No.
All right, then you need to do that. If she doesn't agree or doesn't attempt to negotiate with you, you have the right to request an additional motion for parenting time. But the referee's recommended order says that you have the right to negotiate now. There's really nothing to object to there. So I'm not going to change the referee's order because you haven't complied with it already. Ms. Green is required to negotiate in good faith. I'm not going to make either one of you do a specific thing, but you both need to negotiate because that's what the referee's recommended order says. And so if you're not able to reach an agreement after attempting in good faith to reach an agreement, you, Mr. Green, have the right to file a motion on specific parenting time. But you have to follow the recommended order first and attempt to negotiate first. And Ms. Green needs to negotiate in good faith as well. The third bullet point that you have on your objection says see attached. And that says basically going back to the family reunification specialist that we've already talked about. Is there any other, or are there any other objections that you have, Mr. Green, to the referee's recommended order?
I guess I would like to make it up to the child, make the decision when she wants to come to my house.
How old is the child?
16.
So if the child says, I don't want to go to your house, you're going to be okay with that?
That's perfect fine.
What if the child says, I don't want to go to your house ever?
That's perfect fine. But if the child want it in the future, if the child wants to come to my house, she's more than welcome to come to my house. As you state, in the future, it could happen.
You can do whatever you want to do. Right now, I don't see that as something that's a proper objection to the court's or the referee's recommended order. So if you want to not negotiate.
That's what Alicia was, we went to court for. Because she wanted the kid to have the decision.
I'm not here today to renegotiate anything between the two of you. My only purpose in being here today, and your only purpose in being here today, is to address your objections to what the referee did. I don't see what you've just brought to my attention to be anything of what the referee did.
So the referee took away my overnights and all my time and gave it to her, up to our discretion to make up my time. And I'm asking for just to give it to the kid instead of giving it all to her.
What parenting time did you have prior to the referee's recommended order?
The standard guide time, 105 overnights and every other Wednesday.
Then why would there be this need for reunification if that was true?
Because the kid hasn't came to my house in a year.
Well, then you didn't have the standard. You didn't actually have it. It might have been ordered, but you didn't actually have it. There needed to be a reunification process because you haven't had parenting time, as you say, in a year. I'm not going to put a 16-year-old in charge of the bus. This is a parent's decision. Your job is to go out and make it happen. If you can't find a counselor, that's on you. They're out there, find one. And you can have some parenting time with your child. I can't, I'm not going to say you don't have to talk to anybody ever. The child just gets to come over whenever. And you're either going to be a good dad or you're not. That's up to you. But you're going to have to find the counselor. You're going to have to reintroduce yourself to the child, make sure that the child's okay with it. If you and Ms. Green want to have a bad relationship, that's up to you. I'm not going to do it with the child. I'm going to deny all your requests at this point. If you need to have additional parenting time, you can file a motion in the future. But it appears to me that the referee did what he's supposed to do under these circumstances. Your objections are denied.
You haven't seen your teenager in over a year, expecting a magic counselor to just magically appear. You cannot put a 16-year-old in charge of the bus. Drive down to Trav City and stop making a fuss. Objection denied, now go try to be a good